Namaste, y'all. So this is 1992. The ex and my daughter and I are having dinner at KFC, and all of a sudden I get overwhelmed with this total wave of fear, anxiety, something's wrong, something really bad's about to happen. I get up, I'm like, I can't eat. You guys go ahead and finish eating. I gotta go and have a smoke. Something's wrong, something bad is about to happen. I go outside, they finish up, we take off. I'm driving, and all of a sudden my ex yells, "Dean!" And the way she yelled, I knew it wasn't a dog or a bear or anything on the road. It was a person. I'm looking for a kid. And because a friend of mine had just told me, like days before, that in that area there were kids that lived in the area and they literally played Frogger on the road, right, dodging cars. So I'm looking for a kid and I can't see it. And all of a sudden, the last 6 inches that the car is moving, this old man walks in front of my car and bunk. I tap him in the knees. His head hits my hood and he rolls off the car and on the ground. I'm thinking, phew, he's okay. You know, he's gonna be in pain, but he's okay. And I go out and I see him, and all of a sudden his eyes dilate and I see the stars in his eyes. And he turns his head and pull, blood's pumping out of his ear, and I'm thinking, oh my God, man, like he's dead, he's brain dead now for sure, and it's just, you know, he's gonna die. And so we go home, and there's nothing I can do, and he dies a day later, 2 days later, I forget. And the police asked me, had you ever met him? And I said, no. And they said, are you sure? And I was like, yep. I've never seen this guy in my life. I found out 7 years later because my ex told me. The police told her not to tell me, and she didn't. Like, that was brilliant. I really couldn't believe that. But anyways, 7 years later, she goes, or 4 years, 4 or 7 years later, I forget. She goes, you remember Dan Fielding? I was like, yeah. She goes, you know that the day before we hit him, you and he spoke in a restaurant. You and he spoke at, what was it called? Champion Sports Bar for 4 hours in a language that no one else could comprehend. And I was like, what, really? I said, how do you know that? And she goes, the cops told me. And they told me not to tell you. And I was like, oh, wow, like, thanks for telling me. But anyways, I couldn't believe she listened to the police. Anyways, we were speaking in the first language. And for whatever reason this had to happen, which I do not know, to this day, it's a massive mystery to me how and why it happened, and etc., etc. But yeah, it happened, and that's my story. To this day, I can't figure out why. I love y'all. Take care. Ta-ta for now.